What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about how to choose pickups for electric guitar. So if you have an electric guitar and you're like, I wonder if I should get new pickups in it. I'm going to try to help you out and try to kind of help you narrow down how you would make that decision, because what we see in advertising and what we see on paper doesn't, as far as like specs and stuff, doesn't always translate to our end goal, okay, if that makes sense. And so I think a lot of people will sort of make mistakes when they choose replacement pickups for their guitar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give you kind of some fundamentals of what you might want to think about, and then we're going to listen to some stuff, and I'm going to kind of show you what you might be hearing or seeing on paper, if that makes sense. So let's get right into it. First of all, I want to thank my Patreon and YouTube supporters, the ones that hit the little join button down there. We have weekly hangouts, or monthly hangouts, and you get discount, 10% off at Dylan Talks Tone on pickups and stuff. So we thank you for that. Everybody who supports Patreon and the YouTube members down below. Right about now, you might be thinking, okay, you make pickups for a living, you're just trying to sell me pickups. So let's talk about when you would want to get new pickups for a guitar. I assure you, that's not what I'm trying to do. Because the very first thing I'm going to tell you is, if you like your guitar, then do nothing at all. Don't put new pickups in it. Don't replace anything. I see a lot of things on social media where somebody will be like, I'm about to order this guitar. They don't even have it yet. And what mods should I do? What pickups should I get? Blah, blah, blah. Don't do any of that. Play the guitar, enjoy it. If you like it, leave it alone. Like, don't do anything at all. Don't buy pickups from me. Don't buy pickups from anybody. Just enjoy it the way it is if you like the guitar. Now, what if you don't? What if you want to solve some problems? What if there's some things you don't like? Maybe the pickups are too muddy. Maybe you're playing with your friends and you're getting lost, right? Like you want louder pickups. You want them to be hotter. You want to be heard, right? Or maybe there's an issue. I don't like what I'm hearing and I want to fix it. Then you might want to start looking at making some changes. First of all, make sure your guitar is set up properly. Make sure that your pickup height is adjusted correctly. Make sure that you've played around with your current rig and are getting the most out of it that you can with your gain stages, from your pedal board to your amp and all that kind of stuff, before you make any hardware changes to the guitar itself. But if you've done all that and you're like, it's just not getting me where I want to be, I'd like to try to change some pickups, or maybe you're just a modding freak like me and you just want to do it for fun. Let's narrow down some things that you might want to know. The default thing that people want when they hit us on the website, when they send us emails, when they ask in comment sections is, can you wind me a hot P90? Can you wind me a hotter humbucker? Can you wind me, what do you have for a hot single coil? What they're typically usually asking is, or what they're telling me with that sentence is, I'm playing with my friends and I'm not being heard. I'm getting lost in the mix. It's not standing out. Things are not standing out, so I want to be louder, which means I need to be hotter, right? Not exactly. What we want to talk about here is what frequency range your pickups work in. A good guitar pickup sits right about in the middle. So if we've got our low frequencies down here, right? We've got our high frequencies down here, right? So our bass is over here and our highs are over here. Our mid-range, that 1K to 2K area, is right in the middle, and that is where the guitar lives. That is where vocals live. The guitar is a vocal instrument. So if you want to be louder, if you bring everything up, that doesn't necessarily fix it. What we want to do is have a strong mid-range so that it doesn't get lost in the mix. What we want to do is understand where in the sonic space we want our guitar to sit. So if we want a more bassier tone, but then we're going to because are we a rhythm player? But we need to make sure that we're not competing with the bass player and the drummer. Are we a lead player and we want to be heard? We're actually not competing with those guys. We're competing with the vocals. So we want to be over here, not over here. The problem is that a hotter a pickup gets, flatter, not as a rule, but kind of what happens is flatter mid-range happens, lows go up, highs come down, and all of a sudden, we're lost in the mix. So, hotter isn't always better. Sometimes lower output pickups give you a stronger mid-range and allow you to stick out in the mix more. Because you're competing with vocals, not anything else. For the most part. That's kind of a rule of thumb, kind of not. Let's grab some guitars, and I'm going to show you some other things that you can look for, and we can kind of hear this stuff. All right, so for these sound samples, what we're going to do is we're going to use the Princeton. We're going to put all of the knobs on 7. That's what I always do for these tests. And the reason we want to do that is because we want to talk about hotter pickups versus not as hot pickups. First of all, we're going to use our Texas Toast Challenger signature gasser. This is a guitar that's available at Dylan Talks Tone. We're going to use our DAFs, which are a very low, like 7.6K Alnico 5 magnet, so like a regular PAF style. And you're going to hear it a little bit broken up because it's going to hit the amp. But this is a low output bridge pickup, humbucker, with a really good mid-range. And so basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this exact same pickup and we are going to make it hotter. Okay, so these pickups are same magnets, same everything, just wound to like 8.2, which actually isn't that hot. But listen to this. So, there's a few things that have happened there. We have a little less clarity on top, and the amp is getting hit a lot harder. We've not changed any settings on the amp. So we're sending that amp into overdrive. We're overdriving that amp much more with the hotter pickups, okay? As a result of that, these pickups have pretty good mid-range still, but we're losing a little bit of sparkle on the top, okay? The other way that this can be done is with, now this is taking our winds back down to regular PAF territory, but then changing the magnet from an Alnico 5 to an Alnico 8. This is our Super 8 humbucker. And you're gonna hear putting some clarity back into it, but it's still going to hit the amp pretty hard. So it hits the amp a lot harder. It's very, very hot, but it still has pretty good clarity because the whine count is still low like a traditional PAF. Pretty interesting, right? So we're not getting very hot with this stuff, but the pickups that you've heard now, all these pickups that you've heard are hotter, but not that much. This is wound exactly the same as a low output humbucker, just a different magnet. So we're not going 15K, we're not going crazy, crazy hot, right? But we are hitting the amp harder. And we need to understand what amp we're using. So, you know, Princeton is pretty low wattage, right? Like 13 or something. So if you have a 50 watt amp and you want to break it up like that, maybe you need a hotter pickup. Just trying to give you some options here and understanding that hotter is not always better, that you can actually work with the frequencies that you're listening to. Good mid-range is really important, and clarity is really important over hotter. Let's do the same thing with Strat style stuff. All right, let's do Strat style stuff. We're gonna use my Silver Sky for the low output side. Let's use the neck pickup in this situation because it just makes more sense. So here we have a very low output neck pickup in a Strat style guitar. All right, now let's go to our Highway 99s that are a little hotter with different magnets and see what that sounds like. Much different, much different. Super fun, right? So again, these pickups are not that much hotter. We're not talking about hot here. We're just talking about a little more. So it doesn't take a whole lot. So what you really need to be thinking about when you're shopping for pickups is what's the goal? Have the conversation. Say, hey, this is what my goal is. This is my basic rig. This is how I use it. Do you use it on the edge of breakup? Do you use pedals to push your amp? How do you use your rig? Have that conversation with your pickup builder, whether it be me or anybody else, and be able to kind of talk those things through so that you can make the right choice, because there's a lot of misconceptions out there where people are just like, I want something hot. The last pickup we should talk about is a P90 because there's a lot of misconceptions about it, and it's my favorite. So we're going to use our other in stock gasser model with two P90s in it, TTG Challenger, gold top, and what you're going to find here is these pickups are actually wound, quote unquote, resistance wise about the same as the first humbuckers we heard, or the second ones in the Les Paul. In fact, I'll try to put those back to back with this. But what you're going to find is these, well, let's just play it. So here's the Les Paul first. And then now here's this. They're different, but these are actually hotter. Even though they're not actually hotter wind-wise, they're hotter magnet-wise. So it's interesting. There's just a bunch of different ways to do things, and just looking at numbers and saying, well, if I have 7K pickups now, I want them to be hotter, so I'm going to get 10 or 12K pickups, and then I'll be heard in the mix. Chances are that's actually wrong, and you won't be. You'll actually get lost in the mix. So all I'm saying is when you're shopping for pickups, have the conversation with your pickup builder, okay? No matter who it is, and be like, this is the goal. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I want to do. This is the problem that I'm solving. And a lot of times some people will call me or message me, and I'll be like, don't do anything. You know what I would do? Play with your amp here, here, and here, and here. And I just tell them to do that, and it's free, and they're done. Sometimes changing pickups is the answer. In fact, I mean, a lot of times it is, but we want to make sure that we cover all the options and we don't get too hot and follow, you know, all of the normal nomenclature in advertising and send you down the wrong road. I guess that's the idea. So have those conversations, talk about what you're actually looking for, and if you have any questions, let me know. This has been super fun to kind of go through this. Thanks for hanging out. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the like button. Patreon members and YouTube members get 10% off on anything we make, most anything. And yeah, let me know. Thanks for hanging out. Let me know what your favorite kind of pickup is. Let me know what you have tried. And yeah, this is fun. This is fun stuff. I like doing this stuff. We'll see you in the next video.